Hello Retro Poppers, welcome to another one. Today I got another fantastic episode for you. Today I want to go back to the Sega Dreamcast because it is one of my favorite consoles of all time, for that time period especially. And great disc-based system, great games on it, very unique. I also have it tied now for first place with the Xbox, but definitely love the Sega Dreamcast, the games that came to it. So I want to cover 3 of my favorite fighting games on the system. Maybe not my favorite at all time, but really good fighting games that are definitely worth picking up. We all know that the Sega Dreamcast controller wasn't the greatest fighting controller of all time for fighting games, but it did its job, and there were some great fighting games on it. So today I want to talk about 3 great fighting games on the Sega Dreamcast. So without further ado, sit back and let's check it out. First game on my list is Garou, Mark of the Wolves, Fatal Fury. Fantastic fighting game. Originally came out in 1999 in arcades, ported to the Sega Dreamcast 2001. It has a story mode, survival mode, versus practice mode, a gallery, and options. So it has 3 different modes there, and you get 14 different characters, I believe. And interesting, one of the characters is named Butt, but it's interesting. But I did play some of the Fatal Fury games in the past. This one has a bunch of new characters that I didn't play. I'm going to play a few of them. The best with Terry Bogard, but I am going to play Jae-hoon, the Korean fighter here, Taekwondo master, and try him out. I've been trying to learn his moveset. I'm not really good at it. I haven't figured out all his moves yet. But as you can see, fantastic graphics, really like it. The music's really good. Unfortunately, I can't play that here or it'll get strike down. But as you can see, for a Fatal Fury game, looks really good, runs really good, got a great movesets. Not as many fighters as some of the other games, but very polished and very well done. The backgrounds look good. It's got a little bit of animation. Looks very good. A lot of these fighting games that came to the Sega Dreamcast that were ported from the arcade were actually better graphics than the arcade games, so they did polish them up and make them look even better, so that is pretty impressive. And the cast of characters that are in the game is pretty good, and it's a great fighting system, so I really like it. And as you can see, smooth animations, great gameplay. You'll have to take my word for it, but pretty good sound effects and music. Number 2 on the list is Soul Calibur for the Sega Dreamcast. Released in 1999. It came out a year earlier in the arcades, but when they brought it to the Sega Dreamcast, it was a launch title. They improved the graphics and added new features. Now, as you can see, it's a very beautiful looking game. Very fluid animations. The gameplay is really fantastic, and I really love the music in the game. Everything about this game is very well done, and to this day I still love playing the original Soul Calibur. Really even love this little storylines. So as you can see, it's definitely worth owning, especially if you love any fighting games. Namco did a fantastic job. When I first saw this, I knew I had to buy a Sega Dreamcast because it just looked so good. At the time, this was competing against the PlayStation 1, so it was just amazing how awesome this game was, even with the Sega Dreamcast controller, because the controller wasn't really the best controller for fighting games, but somehow they pulled it off and it worked really great for this game. Now, as you can see, fantastic. I really love the characters. My favorite character in the game is Astaroth, but I am playing Maxi here. And really awesome game. If you love the Soul Calibur franchise, let me know in the comments what your favorite character is, or what your favorite game of the series is. This one is really good. I go back to it, but the best in the series, I believe, is number 2. So really fantastic. Love the game, and as you can see, really cool game. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite Soul Calibur game is. But this is the only one that came to the Sega Dreamcast. After that, number 2 came to the GameCube and to the PlayStation 2. And I believe Xbox, if I'm correct. Well, anyways, that is it for my second game, Soul Calibur. Number 3 on my list, Dead or Alive 2, released in 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast. Now it has story mode, time attack, survival, tag battle, team battle, and survival mode. Fantastic game. You have a choice of 14 different characters, and it's a pretty good bunch of different characters from different backgrounds. Now I either like playing Ryu the Ninja, Zack from the USA, which is a snowboarder, or I like playing Bass, which is a pro wrestler, which is my first favorite character, of course, the pro wrestler. He may be slow, but he's powerful, and he's got a bunch of different wrestling moves, so he's pretty cool. And as you can see by looking at it, as I started up here, you can see that the graphics are beautiful. Backgrounds, level design is really nice to look at. And as you can see, they have destructible environments, so you can push people through walls and then fight down a level and so on. But really great character design. Music's really good, sound effects. Everything about this game was really well done. And I gotta say that this version may be the best version of the game. Maybe even slightly beats out the PlayStation 2 version that came out a year later, because they cut some of the effects in the snow level, such as snow being pushed around and so on. So I really like this version. I think it plays really well. Of course, the PlayStation 2 had a better design for fighting games for the controller, but what they've done with this game works really well, and I gotta say it's really good. Now at the time, back in the day, there were adapters you could buy to play PlayStation 1 or PS2 controllers on your Sega Dreamcast. So I had one of those, but generally, like I said, even if you just had the Sega Dreamcast controller, the game plays fine. So I think it's a really good game, and I think this is the second best fighting game on the Sega Dreamcast, right behind Soul Calibur is taking the first spot. So let me know in the comments below which you think is the best fighting game for the Sega Dreamcast. Do you think it's Dead or Alive 2? Do you think it's Soul Calibur? Or do you think it's something else? And if you play both versions, this version and the PS2 version, let me know which version of the Dead or Alive 2 you like better. But I think this version is the best version myself. It's just fluid, it looks beautiful, and plays great. So definitely an awesome game. Anyways, that is it for my 3 best fighting games for the Sega Dreamcast, and I will have more fighting games to cover in the future. So let me know if any of those fighting games are your favorite on the Sega Dreamcast. I would suggest every Sega Dreamcast owner who loves any fighting game should own at least Soul Calibur, because that is a fantastic game. And definitely Dead or Alive 2 is another fantastic one. And there's quite a few fantastic ones after that you could pick from. I'm going to be making more lists of great fighting games and other games that are worth owning on the Sega Dreamcast and other systems. Let me know in the comments below if you have any fighting games that you would suggest for the Sega Dreamcast. Anyways, that is it for this episode. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and as always, have a good one. Take care, everybody. Until next time.
Thank you, my friend.
Retro.